still believe, Raider Nation. I know it's been a frustrating start. I get it. But there's a reason why people say womb to the tomb. There's a reason why Raider Nation for life is a thing. You never give up. I know Al Davis wouldn't, so I'm hoping you guys don't either. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. Join me and Jeremy Chuggs for our Sunday watch party as the Raiders go to take down the Donkeys. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, my Raiders' keys to victory up against Denver. As far as I'm concerned, Josh McDaniels could use all the help that he could possibly find. So I'm hoping, Josh, you come across this video and see what you need to do to beat the Denver Broncos. The first thing coming up, free Derek Carr. But Mitch, what do you mean? I want Josh to not control everything that Derek does. The reports that are coming out that McDaniels is essentially like telling Derek where to throw the ball, that he's not letting him audible up at the line of scrimmage, that makes zero sense to me. Why the hell would you pay a quarterback $120 million, top 5 money, if you don't let him be a quarterback? Essentially, you're telling me that you would let your child try to ride a bike right away, give him all this money, but yet you're still going to have the training wheels on? Take the training wheels off Derek Carr. I get it. He's had some up and downs. That first game was not great against the Chargers, no doubt about it. He looked better against Arizona, and I thought he looked better this past week. They just dropped a lot of footballs. The other reason why I want McDaniels to just let Derek, just let the reins off him. Let him just relax a little bit. Currently, right now, Derek Carr's got an 81.5 quarterback rating. This is the lowest quarterback rating Derek Carr has had since his rookie season in 2014. I'm not saying Derek's playing like a rookie, but you know what? I notice a different Derek. He doesn't look comfortable. He's making bad reads. Sometimes he's locking on to Davante too long. Sometimes he's not finding Davante Adams. I don't know what it is, but it's not working right now. So all I want, McDaniels, just let Derek be the quarterback that you paid him all the money to be. If you're going to pay a QB that much money, let him be that quarterback. Point blank simple. Because not only are you impacting Derek Carr, you're impacting the offense, and McDaniels is straight up impacting Davante Adams. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, Adams has 17 for 189 and 3, but this would be Adams' worst catch rate of his career. When I think about targets are great. But if you don't have high quality targets, I will take quality over quantity every day of the frickin' week. So with this being said, I want to see higher quality targets for Davante. And if Josh McDaniels is this offensive guru, you would think that you would be able to figure out ways to get the ball in Davante Adams' hands. So with all of that being said, how many receptions for number 17 up against the Broncos this week? I want to know. I want to see if it's 12, it better be 12 damn good targets. If it's 15, 15 good targets. But as far as Davante not getting double-digit targets every single game, that shit needs to stop. Double-digit targets for Adams every single game. Let's go to the next key to victory. Use your tight ends. I flat out said the biggest reason why the Raiders lost last week was because of Darren Waller. Darren Waller straight up dropped 17 points in my opinion. But you know what? This Denver Broncos defense is playing like one of the top defenses in the league. I go back and I watch some tape and I start picking up on a few things. I'm like, man, this team, they seem to be struggling against tight ends. So then, y'all know, I'm a fantasy guy, right? And I'm not saying that real football and fantasy football is similar. However, you can pick up on tendencies like Broncos fantasy points against this season. They're the sixth best team, essentially, against quarterbacks. They're the third best team against running backs. They are the best team against wide receivers. The points that you see is how many points on average they give up to that position. Where's the weakness? I saw it on tape, and then I went to my fantasy football numbers, and I saw they're ranked 26 in the league against tight ends. So guess what? I get it. Waller struggled. But if Hunter Renfrow is unable to go because of concussion, more targets for Darren Waller. And I would hope that Foster is out there, depending on when you guys see this video. He was out at practice on Wednesday and Thursday, was unable to go then. If Foster Morau is unable to play, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a few more snaps out of your backup tight end, Jesper Horsted. All I know is this. If Denver's biggest weakness is covering tight ends, McDaniels, you're supposed to be this guru. Target your tight ends. get Darren Waller more involved, and get that man's confidence up here a little bit. So this Week 4 matchup, Raiders 0-3 up against Denver, who's 2-1. The Raiders have won the last 4 matchups. The Raiders have won 6 out of the last 7 matchups. So I want to know who you got. It's been a frustrating season, and I hope that we get 1,000 people that type LV in the chat. And even though it's been frustrating, I'm going to bet on the Raiders this season. And I hope that you bet on the Raiders every single week. In fact, we got an amazing deal going on right now, and I get it. This season has been frustrating. But if you go to chatsports.com/Raiders and you use promo code Raiders125, you're going to get a 125% deposit bonus. So I want you to listen up really quick here. For $100, okay? I know. For $100, you deposit $100 at chatsports.com/Raiders. And for $100, you're going to get $125 for free to bet with. On top of that, because of this season has been a headache, I am going to give you a free Raiders jersey. This has nothing to do with BetUS. This is from me, and I know how frustrating it is. But the fact that for $100, you're going to get a free Raiders jersey, $125 for free to bet with, on top of the $100 you're already getting, this is an incredible deal. So if all you heard was free Raiders jersey, email me for the details on that and jersey at chatsports.com. But here's the thing. I don't want you to just blow your full load of all the money you get from BetUS. Put like $10 down. That's what I'm doing this week. I'm putting down $10 on the Raiders to beat the Denver Broncos. And I want you all to do it too. Put down $10, and then you're also going to get a free Raiders jersey. Sound good? Sure hope so. Let's go to the next thing. Get after Russell Wilson. You can't let Wilson get comfortable. And then if you let Wilson do all this time where he's just buying time, that's when he makes plays. When you give him the ability to buy time with his legs. And as far as I'm concerned, that shit's got to stop. Derek, he needs to be in a game-winning situation this week. It's just what I believe. And when you look at the Broncos' offensive line, they've given up a lot of sacks, 9 this season. They are tied for 7th most sacks allowed behind only Washington and Cincy, the Giants, the Colts, the Saints, and the Bears. Friendly reminder that I am recording this before the Bengals Thursday night football game, so just keep that in mind. But it can't just be Maxx Crosby. Max has 2 sacks this season. The Raiders are tied for dead last this year with only 2 sacks. They're tied with the Arizona Cardinals. Chandler Jones, you need to step up. I saw somebody on Twitter say that Chandler has actually done a solid job. If you're hearing that Chandler Jones has done a solid job this season, don't listen to that person anymore, because in no way, shape, or form has Chandler Jones done a solid job whatsoever this year. I want to see more out of Malcolm Koonce. I want to see more Malcolm Koonce on the field, because if Chandler Jones can't generate pressure, like if Chandler Jones was making $5 million a year, I'd say he's not worth the money. Like, that's how bad he's been this season. The fact that he's making as much as he has, what do you got to lose? Put Malcolm Koonce out on the field. The Raiders need to generate pressure. The interior defensive line should be ashamed of themselves. Also, the fact that Josh McDaniels, the biggest problem that I have thus far with McDaniels is he can see that the Raiders are weak at certain points, and he's got too much pride to swallow the fact and say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. The Raiders do need more help. But he hasn't done that. The Raiders need to generate pressure. It needs to come from somewhere besides Maxx Crosby. Let's go to the next key to victory. Stop the soft coverage, for the love of God, Patrick Graham. I get that your defensive scheme is based on being a bend but don't break, but you got so many defenders out right now that those guys get tired. And then when they get tired, the defense doesn't only just bend, it straight up breaks. If I got to watch this team on a 3rd and 4 play 5 yards behind, or 3 yards behind the first down marker because they're trying to play soft, that doesn't make any sense. Teams are picking up 3rd downs. Teams are picking up 4th downs. This season, the Raiders are in the middle of the pack in terms of first downs given up after 3rd down. It's like 37%. But I get the fact that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Mitch, teams that the Raiders have played are good. Are they? The Chargers, 1-2, beat the Raiders. Cardinals, 1-2, beat the Raiders. Titans, 1-2, beat the Raiders. The Raiders also, Jesus, Patrick B. Also, then, when you think about the fact on 4th down, the Raiders right now are giving up 50% of 4th downs. Stop the soft coverage. Get closer to the line. Start playing more physical football, because I can't stand these 4 or 5 dink and dunk yards that our defense is giving up, and the offense is just carving us. It's driving me nuts. Now, yes, I make a lot of videos here on YouTube, but I want you to check out some of the videos that I make on the locals as well. You can join us at Raidersport.locals.com. Links are going to be available in the comments and in the description. Check out PFF grade reactions. If the Raiders beat the Broncos, I'm going to be doing something to my face. And if you watch this Thursday, well, you're going to see it live in action, baby. So tune in. Locals is all about that interaction. 2 extra videos, 1 extra live show, interactive pool, plus NFL Pick'em Challenge. Winner this week gets a $25 gift card. $25 gift card. So scan that QR code. Join our tournament down there. Whoever can pick the most Week 4 games correct wins. That's how we do it. It's for the Sunday and Monday games only. So if you watch this on Friday, if you watch this on Saturday, you can still enter the tournament. It's for Sunday and Monday games only. Let's go to the final thing. Limit the mistakes. The amount of times that the Raiders shoot themselves in the foot, especially last week, week 2 against Arizona, the fumble by Hunter, the 3 interceptions by Derek Carr. But last week, it was like boneheaded mistakes, right? The Raiders got into the red zone 6 times, scored twice. That can't happen. Bad drop, touchdown by Darren Waller. 2 of them, in fact. The fact that Deron Harmon had an interception, you get to the 31-yard line, and when I think of mistakes, I think of penalties, I think of bad play calling. You get all the way back, you're out of field goal range. I mean, even on a play where you're at like the 1-yard line, Jermaine Illuminor, false start, then you're back 5 yards. It's not just turnovers, it's the bullshit, dumb-headed mistakes. Hell, it's 4th down and 10. 4th and 10, game's on the line, and you're going to delay a game. Yeah, I get it. The Raiders picked it up. They threw a Hail Mary to Matt Collins. That shit cannot happen. That falls on the coaching, and it falls on your grown men. You are grown men. Start acting like it. Please, for the love of God. And because I just figured I would do it, here's the bonus key to victory. Can I see 60 minutes of solid football? Not a first quarter, not a first half, not a second half, but if you want to win in the NFL, Josh Jacobs had a line saying people are overreacting, or he didn't use the word overreacting, but he's like, I think people don't understand how good teams are in the NFL and how close matched everyone is. You're right. But you know what? You got to play a full 60 minutes of football. The reason why the Raiders have lost is because there's been quarters where they just don't show up. You're down 21-10, 24-10 against the Vikings, to the Titans. You're down 17-3 to the Chargers. You're up 20-0 against Arizona, and you blow that lead. You need to play an entire game from start to finish. And if you believe that, spam 4 for 4 quarters of action, because that's what the Raiders need to do this week to win the freaking game. Now, the Week 4 odds in this one, total over-under, 45.5. Raiders, 2.5-point favorites. I want you to predict the score, Raiders, Broncos. Let me know down in the comments section right now. Raiders, Broncos, predict the score right now.